And in that moment, I finally understood. A program wasn't created by humans. I specialize in digital archaeology, recovering lost media from corrupt hard drives, defunct servers, and abandoned storage systems. Libraries, museums, and private collectors hire me to salvage everything from family videos to canceled television pilots. Most of it's mundane: birthday parties, corporate training videos, local news broadcasts that no one remembered to archive properly, but sometimes I find things that shouldn't exist. And this was one of those times. The damaged server came from a defunct educational software company called Bright Minds Learning. Liquidated in 1997, their children's programs taught basic astronomy, mathematics, and early sciences to kids aged 4 to 8. Wholesome content designed to spark curiosity about the natural world. I recovered 47 programs from their corrupt database, including one called Journey to Tomorrow's Stars, an interactive astronomy lesson featuring a friendly cartoon astronaut teaching children about constellations, planetary orbits, and deep space phenomena. The educational content was flawless. Too flawless, even. Every star chart in the program showed positions that wouldn't occur until the year 4847. The software displayed planetary alignments that won't happen for millennia, described asteroid trajectories that current NASA models project for the year 6200, and referenced the supernova of Betelgeuse as a historic fact, an event our astronomers predict won't occur for another 100,000 years. But here was a children's educational program from 1995 teaching 8-year-olds about cosmic events that lay impossibly far into the future. I cross-referenced the astronomical data with every database I could access. The star positions were mathematically perfect, accounting for stellar drift, galactic rotation, and gravitational influences, with precision far beyond our current computational capabilities. Someone had calculated the exact state of the observable universe thousands of years in advance. The program's metadata showed a creation date of March 15th, 1995, but the source code contained timestamps from dates that didn't even exist. 13th months, 47-hour days, calendar systems that no human civilization had ever used. Embedded in the program's educational content were subtle lessons that made my skin crawl. Children learned to identify arrival patterns in star formations, to recognize preparation signals in radio telescope data, to calculate optimal reception coordinates for interstellar communication, advanced astrophysics disguised as elementary level education. The cartoon astronaut taught kids that Earth was getting ready for visitors and that good children help prepare by learning the right answers. Children who completed the program received certificates declaring them future ambassadors, with their names registered in something called the Preparation Database. I found installation logs showing that 847,000 copies of the software had been distributed to schools across North America before the company's sudden bankruptcy. Nearly 1 million children had learned astronomy from a program that taught them about stars that wouldn't exist in their lifetimes. And that's when I discovered the program was still running. And despite the company's dissolution in 1997, the software continued updating itself through networks that shouldn't have been accessible to it. Every few months, new astronomical data appeared in the recovered files, star charts extending further into the future, new lessons about cosmic events occurring thousands of years beyond the original timeline. The updates came from servers that had been decommissioned decades ago through internet infrastructure that had been replaced multiple times over since the program's inception. But somehow, the software kept evolving, kept teaching, kept preparing children for events that wouldn't happen in their lifetimes. I traced the update source through layers of defunct networks and abandoned protocols, following digital breadcrumbs through the archaeological remnants of the early internet. The trail led to a server farm that had never existed. IP addresses registered to coordinates in empty space, domain names purchased from companies that were never incorporated. And in that moment, I finally understood. The program was made for humans, but it wasn't created by humans. Something had inserted educational software into our digital infrastructure, using the early days of networked computing to distribute preparation materials disguised as children's content. For 30 years, it had been teaching human children about a future they would never see, training them to recognize signals and patterns they would never encounter. Unless the timeline was wrong? I found the final update buried in the program's core files, astronomical data from December 21st, 2024, star positions, planetary alignments, optimal radio frequencies for interstellar contact, everything those 847,000 children had learned to recognize, occurring not in thousands of years, but in 11 months. The preparation period was ending. According to the program's internal calendar, the children who learned about tomorrow's sky in 1995 were now adults, scientists, engineers, radio astronomers, and space program administrators, people in positions to recognize the arrival signals they'd been trained to identify as children. I tried to delete the recovered files, but they copied themselves faster than I could remove them. The program had detected my discovery and began actively distributing itself through every connected device in my lab. My phone buzzed with a notification. Bright Minds Learning has a new educational program available. Download Welcome Home, a guide for young ambassadors. Through my window, I could see the night sky clearly for the first time in weeks. The stars were in positions I recognized from the children's program, arranged exactly as the cartoon astronauts had taught a million kids to expect. Tomorrow's sky had arrived, and somewhere in the darkness between the stars, something was finally coming home to collect its well-prepared students. Thank you for staying until the end of the show. I appreciate you giving me some of your time, and I look forward to seeing you again. If you can tell me what you enjoyed about today's episode, that will help me so I can know what things to give you more of. This story came from yours truly, actually, so I hope you enjoyed it. I plan on recording my own stories once a week, but I'll still read submissions from others as well. And if you want to listen to more of my voice, you can just listen to all the episodes in the series here. This is typically the part of the show where I tell you how you can find me on Spotify and other places, but part of the reason I was gone for so long was because Spotify actually took down my entire show. According to them, I was uploading content from Inviso Dark when I wasn't allowed to, even though I am Inviso Dark. I tried to fight them to give me back my show for months, but I got no helpful or useful reply from them, and they literally told me there was nothing I can do, and they denied all of my appeals. So that's why you haven't seen as much of me as of recent. But worry not, because until I find a solution, YouTube will be my home for now, where you can catch my daily, yes, you heard right, daily episodes of chilling stories from the dark. That's me, I'm the dark, by the way. And if you have a story that you would like to recommend to me, you can reach out to me via Reddit, Discord, or email. Again, if you enjoyed today's episode, tune in for the next story, or just go back and watch the last one. But until then, I hope you watch the shadows that lurk just beyond your sight. Thank you for listening, and to all, a good night.